The real life Andrew Jackson story. Andrew Jackson was apparently someone. What happened was his father had grabbed. I think his father was like Abraham Lincoln or something like that. And basically, his father was raping this woman or whatever. And basically, the British people. I had a fort nearby, and the British people, my French army or someone, blew down the door. The door splintered, took out his father, the father's best friend, with the cannon, and splinters went into the Andrew Jackson's father, and he got gangrene and died, or some sort of infection and died. Um, they took him. They took him, put him in jail or whatever, and there's just the two boys and the woman, and the woman. I think she died later on. Um, and maybe one girl. I'm not exactly sure. No. That's right. No. The girl that they were raping had a child, a girl, I think, like that. And then there was just the two boys. So anyway, but they're just children. So anyway, later on, I think the mother dies or something like that, poisoned strychnine or something. I don't really know what happened to the mother, but she dies basically, and it's just the two boys and the sister, and they steal something and run off, and basically some Indians find them. They hear shouts or screams, and some Indians, warriors, or the people that they hunt for their people, found them in the forest, and one of them was trying to rape the sister, the older one, or something like that. Anyway, the Indians pull him off anyway, and I think he takes a run at the Indians, and running at an Indian, is not a good idea. Especially, I mean, they hunt for a living, so it ended badly for the older son. He died. So anyway, it's self defense basically, and so they go. So the Indian people, the hunters, take them back to the French fort and go, I don't know what to do with them. Anyway, so the French fort takes them for a while and feeds them because they're starving and malnourished and everything else like that. And then they tell the French fort, I think, that it was the Indians that killed their brother or whatever, and the adults are like, no. Anyway, but they try and get the Indians on trial or whatever, saying blah blah blah. I don't know why. Maybe for their stuff. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, they live together and have sex a lot, and I have a print shop there, and some Germans, German people, they or my people basically are running the print shop, and they print letters and stuff. And he learns how to read somewhat. I think he did learn how to read anyway. Um, and later on, I think I hired a tutor for him, but he tried to rape her or something like that, and that didn't work out too well. But he didn't die. He just went to jail for a little while. Anyway, though, the he runs a print shop for a while, and I have him scribing and doing stuff, and and he does land deeds and stuff, but everything's verified by my German people. And eventually, I think he did something where they were off somewhere, and he tried to do something, and basically I fired him. Anyway, so he runs off with his clothes, and I forget what happens to. Oh, that's right. No. He gets the tutor that when he was still being, because he didn't try and rape her right away. Um, Her daughter thinks that he's of wealth or something, or power or something, because he writes a land deed saying that he owns something. So she goes with him for a while, but she can read and or figures it out or something, and leaves. He dumps his sister, I think, and leaves with the French girl and the tutor or something, but then tries to rape him or something. I don't really know. I forget. I don't know what happens to it after a certain point. Anyway, though, so and then he runs off, and he's off out there, and he's trying to get people to invest in him or have sex with him or whatever. Eventually, he comes across one of my other camps where I'm doing like gravity tests and stuff like that, shooting balls into the air and letting them fall down to try and get a measure of gravity. Like, how much gravity do we have? And does gravity affect everything the same? And he gets some money from that, and there's some other stuff. Anyway, eventually, like I say, it gets a little confusing about there. I forget exactly what the details are, and after a while, it's like, oh, this guy's just a problem. And when I was actually doing it, I think I was actually going after him, sending people to go and arrest him because it's like you're out of here. You're a problem. So anyway, though, he ended up in jail, I think, or something like that, and he gets some liar to get him off or something, saying, "Oh no, no," or saying liars. Apparently, you can pay people to lie for you back then. Anyway, though, but he doesn't get very far though. But anyway, so that's the real Andrew Jackson story. And I forget the details. I'd have to see the pictures of it. I mean, there are photos and stuff, and even documented reports of really what happened at the fort and really what happened. And even the Indians wrote report because I had Indian people that would hunt for me and bring me skins and I mean bring me bear skins and stuff like. I mean we did a lot of trading. I mean, and the Indians would only trade with me because or with my people in my fort because we were honest. We were like, yeah, sure, here, no problem. I mean, I even had safe trading posts where people could go in, they could have their money out, they could bring out their items. Everything was fine. You could approach the fort and everything, and if anybody accosted you, it's like, all right, so get off that person because you're about to die. Like I had like little islands of civilization. People would come in, they could trade and make money or whatever. And I think I even offered like a little bank or something at the fort where they could store their money or their valuables for a time or whatever. And be protected because I think I was doing some sort of research or something there, so I was storing something there, so I had to do it anyway. So it's like, well, I'm doing it anyway, so we'll make some more rooms and you can use those. I have my guards and my people there. So anyway, and I think I had a Gatling or something there. So anyway, though, yeah. So that's the real Andrew Jackson story, and eventually he has sex a lot, and I think he either gets hung or shot in a duel because of it. Because I think he's making money somehow off the duels or whatever, and like it's some sort of con or something with somebody, and eventually like one guy's like, you know what, and just shoots him. He dies or something. So anyway, eventually, like his kids decide to start a town together and call it Jackson because the girls always named their sons after whoever had sex with them. So anyway, so eventually they start Jacksonville, and eventually I go ahead and invest in them because they're starving and dying, and basically just some people out in some shacks. So and send them to do something or do something. I don't really know. Anyway. So that's the real Andrew Jackson story. And eventually I think, like one of them there ends up being a pitcher or something like that. I'm like, oh yeah, I know that guy a little bit. And I think it's actually the wanted posters or something like that, or his head's in a jar from basically the people because he would get people that couldn't read to write out to sign a will, and it would actually be a land deed. And so my people found out and were like, no, you're not going to do that. So, yeah, and these people eventually, because some of them get killed, and eventually go and lynch him and cut off his head, and they're like, we're not going to reward. And I'm like, okay, here you go. Because back in the old days, I'm like, well, we have a case on this. If we have a case against people, I would pay because they're really basically just causing problems throughout my country, and it's like, well, I'll pay for these problems to stop. So I pay people, when we get a case against someone and a real thing going, and it's real, and there's some documented witness statements and a bunch of other stuff, a whole bunch of stuff, and then it's like, and then, so anyway, eventually I end up probably with his head, so in a jar. So anyway, yeah. And so we use that as the money. People are like, whatever. He's a famous person, or person of a famous person. So and he had like 50 or so children, mostly of women that he raped. So anyway, yeah, the real life Andrew Jackson story. I mean, I forgot it. I mean, it was a long, long, long time ago.